All right. It is Easter when I'm recording this, so happy Easter, each and every one of you. This is Paul Gaither. This is Madden NFL 2002. Primarily gotten over my cold. I thought I had earlier, but just kept getting worse. We are back. And after about a week off, it's time to continue our franchise. San Francisco 49ers, year number 2. We just finished the Pro Bowl in our last update, and it's time to advance to the offseason. I'm going to do my very best to keep this thing moving along with commentary, but not take too long to advance section by section. Now, one thing we could take a look at is our rosters and our player progression, but I think it's really important just to jump right into player retirements. So, the dice are rolled. Who has retired this year? Let's go to our San Francisco 49ers and see anyone on our team. Nobody this year has retired for our team. We go to the entire NFL. We can see, obviously, this is ranked by overall. Quarterbacks, Doug Flutie, Jim Harbaugh, Billy Joe Hobert. Emmitt Smith, Ricky Watters. For who? For what? Ricky Watters retires. Howard Griffith, 82 overall, 34 years of age. Terrence Mathis and Sean Jefferson. The Falcons have a pair of wide receivers that say it's time to go. Jake Reed and Andre Reed say goodbye, as does James Jett. Ben Coates hangs up his cleats. No tackles in the NFL retire. Keith Sims retires. Packers longtime center Frank Winters says it's time to go at age 38 and a 67 overall. Bruce Smith says it's finally time to hang him up. And what is his all-time sack record number here? 196. I want to take a look at Bruce Smith stats, NFL. What did he really finish with? And it says games, information. I've got this pulled up. I'm looking. Some advertisements are closing. And let's go up here. Just going to profootballreference.com. And it says games started and blah, blah, blah. But where is the sack total? Down here. Exactly 200 sacks on the career. It says that he played the 2001 season and got 5 sacks. Here, he got 12 in our game. It says he played the 2002 season, ended up with 9 sacks, but only 3 here. And he also played the 2003 season, which he isn't here, and got 5. He hit the number 200. He fell 4 shy here in our simulation. All right. Santana Dotson hangs it up. Bill Romanowski does not leave the Broncos, does not go to the Raiders, and it turns out to be a good decision for the video game Bill Romanowski, as they are now the defending Super Bowl champions. He ended up with 3 rings with Denver. I believe 2 with the 49ers early in his young career. 5 rings on those fingers. Alright, we see the rest on the list. Middle linebacker Fred Strickland, Ken Norton Jr. Both of these players are players that are in free agency when the video game starts. They did not really play the 2001, let alone 2002 season in the NFL. But because they're free agents, I found places for them. I basically put Strickland back on the Cowboys, but I dropped him down in the depth chart. And similar with the Ken Norton Jr., I put him back on my 49ers and buried him in the depth chart as a third-string middle linebacker for our franchise. And both of them decided to come back for another season, and they were cut, respectively, from the Cowboys and the 49ers, and went on to other teams in the same state. And now they finally hang it up. We can see the corners that have retired. Mark Carrier is another player who did not really have a team, did not really play in 2001. I put him on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers because I believe the last team he played for was Washington, hence the uniform in the picture. But Washington, I believe, already had a free safety in their midst. So I helped him by sending him to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Also because Tampa Bay had something like a 66 overall free safety or whatever. But two great corners in Abraham and Rondé Barber. And also the safety, John Lynch. So having a free safety, who I think was an 83 overall when the game starts, was a good addition. And that team ended up going to the Super Bowl. So I wonder how much help he was. It says he only had 15 tackles and 4 pass deflections on the year, so he wasn't a huge help that year. Certainly not compared to his previous year's stats, but it is what it is. Henry Jones, no kickers, and here are the punters. So, yeah, that is the list. Advanced through player retirements, and we're in about 6 minutes into the video. Before we go to re-sign players, let's take a look at our specific roster, and we can take a look at some other teams as well. 49ers, Jeff Garcia, age 32, increases his overall. His awareness gets into the 90 range. His throwing accuracy continues to increase, now up to 94, and his throwing power even gets better. We see minor increases for Tim Rattay and Madden 2002's version of Tom Brady. You can see those really low numbers before he proved himself in real life. Okay, Kevin Barlow, rookie in the first year, now with 2 years under his belt, has increased to a 79 overall, a 5-point increase. Garrison Hurst loses 6 points overall. Barlow getting faster, getting stronger, more awareness, more agility, more acceleration, better at catching the ball, better at carry, better at breaking tackles, like all around better. And Garrison Hurst, huh? All right. Fred Beasley, who we re-signed, continues to improve, and I'm partially regretting re-signing him, not because he's getting better, but because the computer isn't really utilizing him. And I don't know any better way for the computer to utilize him. At wide receiver, Owens, no change, but not dropping off. And the same can be said by J.J. Stokes at age 29. No drop-off, no increase. Ty Streets got one nicer, up to 70 overall with a little bit of strength awareness and a few other skills. Nothing spectacular. Our rookie, RB Garcia, 2 points, just a little bit of awareness, agility, a little bit of catch, just a little improvements, nothing special. Not a spectacular receiver, just a kick returner, and wasn't even that great at that position. It is what it is. Greg Clark, didn't even have the breakout season that he had the previous year, but some of that's on me for starting Madison. But 73 overall. Speaking of Madison, he increases from 68 to 71. Strength, awareness, agility. Catch is still really bad, but getting better. And one of the keys here, run block. Okay, so that's really good. Justin Swift gets a little better. Eric Johnson gets a little bit better. But yeah, we're going to have a situation here with Clark. He's going to probably want to re-sign and want some good money. And I don't think we're going to do that. David Walden, he is not a creative player. He was a rookie in the year 2000, so he's in his second season when this game begins. He's not really our starter. He's just a left tackle on the roster. Boston, a draftee, raises from 72 to 74. His strength gets even higher. Awareness increases. And we can see his run block and pass block are pretty darn decent. Pretty respectable as it is. Jeremy Newberry gets a little bit better and still not as good as he would become in real life. Dave Fiore at 28 years old doesn't change his overall. And Johnny Rice, our other rookie player, but only 2 years younger than Dave Fiore. Only 67 overall, but a little bit more strength, significantly less awareness. But the run block and pass block are pretty similar. It's an interesting situation. I don't want to get bogged down in the details, but close in age, differences in awareness, and yet I didn't see the lack of awareness be a deficit for Rice. We'll see how it goes. It's just, we got to save money. And while the overall is better, how much are we going to be paying Dave? That's the question. Mark Brown, the #1 draft pick that we selected, goes from 78 up to 80. He can't increase 99 strength. The awareness rating continues to go up, the agility a little bit, and run blocking goes up from 75 to 77, pass blocking from 93 up to 94. So not a huge increase, really, in his skills, but still a solid tackle. Scott Gregg, see, we had Mark Brown starting left tackle because of that high pass blocking rating and good strength. So, we see how it goes. Engelberger continues to improve. It's like the game is determined he's going to improve. The awareness goes up. Tackling a little better, but an 86 overall. And Marquise Douglas, who also the 49ers would sign in real life, he gets a little bit of an improvement, and he's primarily signed because of that 85 strength to be a goal line defensive end. Similar, Paul Spicer here, signed to be a goal line defensive end, age 27, age 25. You know, not too old on the defensive line. And the other improvement here, Andre Carter, 80 overall. Improving, increasing the strength, awareness, agility, acceleration, tackle, like across the board, getting better. Bryant Young, age 30, remains the same, no decrease, no increase. Jason Fisk, age 29, a year younger, same thing. No significant change, just a good contributor. Reggie McGrew gets even better as he turns 25 years old. His strength increases, awareness, tackle, things like that. Solid backup. And Joseph Spoto, our nose tackle. He gets 2 more strength, increases his overall, increases his awareness, and his tackle ability goes up as well. Yeah, that's really it. The tackle and the strength. Those are the main reasons why he is on this team. And I feel it's better than a 62 overall says, but he might get pushed around, I think, not because of the strength, but knocked over, I should say. Not pushed backwards, but knocked down because that 45 awareness. I think awareness is a big catch-all rating in Madden. It determines a lot of factors, and I think a lot of young success, and anyone who has the high awareness, a lot of their success, especially on the defensive line, is dependent as much or more with the awareness than the strength. The strength has like to do with like the push and pull, if you will, but the getting knocked over versus beating the blocks is like super awareness based. So that's going to be something interesting to consider as we move forward into the draft and free agency. Jamie Winborn gets 5 points better. Nice. Including that is the awareness we just mentioned. He's into the mid-70s now. Solid. And the tackle rating continues to go up a lot. So Jamie Winborn is destined to be a good player in this video game. Derek Smith, at age 27, continues to show improvements. Jeff Ulbrich does as well. And Levi Valentine, up 3 points overall. Extra strength, increased awareness. No acceleration or speed, but we got the agility, awareness, but that strength. And the tackle gets into the 90s now in his next year. It's been a tackling machine out there for us. I don't know what the stats, just 58, but it's pretty darn solid. Alright. Outside linebacker, Julian Peterson increases to an 85 overall. Gets his awareness increase. Gets his tackle boost. At corner, Ahmad Plummer at 26 increases 5 more points. He's already been crucial on our team, and he's gotten faster. He's gotten stronger. 5 more points of awareness. Increased agility, acceleration, getting better at catching, like intercepting, and his tackling gets better as well. Dwayne Washington, 3 years older than Plummer, doesn't seem to really be increasing, but also not decreasing with that Pro Bowl appearance. Jason Webster at age 24 also increases. Rashad Holman, I believe, a rookie we drafted. No, he was a rookie in real life. Yeah, Holman's a real life player. And Dave Thomas doesn't retire, stays on the team. Drops 7 points in ability. It's interesting he didn't retire. Zach Bronson gets a little bit better, right? I don't know what we have in terms of free agents available, but Bronson has been solid for us. Not a liability in the safety position. And Lance Schulter's, glad we re-signed him, up from an 88 to a 92 at age 27. More strength, more awareness, more tackling ability. So getting better across the board. Pat Tillman, rest in peace. John Keefe, both very talented 25-year-old players. Keefe has a little bit more athleticism, increased speed, a tiny bit more strength, a bit more agility and acceleration, like measurably better athlete. Pat Tillman has more awareness and more like tackling technique, and that's kind of the thing that they complimented Pat on, and I think Pat is vastly underrated. It's not that he needs his physical attributes increased, but his awareness shouldn't be a 65. You can see his 2000 stats, 145 tackles with Arizona, right? Like, I would definitely increase his tackle rating if I were to adjust rosters, and I would increase his awareness. And across the league, I would probably put him at like 80 or 84 tackle or something like that. I'm not exactly sure, but I would put him in the 80s at least, right? 88, I don't know. Let's find out who the best tacklers are in the NFL, can we? NFL, tackling, safeties, 90 is the best overall, and he increased from that. So 89s, 88s, 89s, 91, all of that. And John Lynch never had those numbers. Now, obviously some of those numbers are going to be like, because he's the only one on his team doing the tackling, because Arizona's not a good team. But the man is just like a consistent tackling machine. Like, who else has these kinds of numbers? Like, no one else. And like, he's just solid and consistent, right? So you got to say he's got to be in that range, right? I know stats don't drive the attributes, but you'd have to say 84, 85, 86 something tackle would have been much better, much more accurate for Mr. Pat Tillman, would you say? And he was known for his football smarts and his technique more than his physical attributes, but we're happy to have him on the roster. Jason Elam, he decreases at age 32, and that's still fine. You know, we're still paying the kicker because, well, we got to pay the kicker, right? It's important. We only made like 2/3 of our kicks the previous year, and we only missed one kick this year, right? It makes a big difference. And punter, Chad Stanley, he gets better. So that is the progression of our team. Took us about 10 minutes to get through that. Let's take a look at progression, not of the entire league, of all positions, but let's start looking at some famous, important players, especially some young players across the NFL. Skip, how do we want to do this? Like quarterback, don't care. Bengals got a young quarterback here after Achilles Smith fiasco and John Kitna. They got themselves a young guy who's entering his next year. That's pretty good for them. The Bills, the Broncos, Brian Griese, they won the Super Bowl, just like his dad, Bob Griese, unlike real life. Brian Griese gets the Super Bowl win, goes up to a 94 overall. Pretty solid there. Tim Couch, the Browns look like that they actually found their quarterback, even though in real life they didn't. In the video game, looks like they have. Sean King continues to improve and takes over the starting role from Brad Johnson last year, and gets better. Jake Plummer does not make a big increase. In fact, Jake Plummer's basic story that we know is Arizona not satisfied with him, let him moved on with his contract, went to the Broncos, and Broncos found success with him. They were not exactly happy with Griese. But this is the video game. The video game Broncos are happy with Griese. He's improving, and they won a Super Bowl, so that's what it is. Drew Brees. We know what kind of legend this man is. Rookie in this game. 5 more points overall. Up to an 83. Look at that throwing accuracy, hitting 89 now. Throwing power 84. Awareness getting better. Stats getting better. Chargers situation. Chiefs situation. Just have Chargers on the brain right here. Chiefs situation at quarterback. Peyton Manning, 99. Can't get much better than 99. 99 awareness. Right? 99 throw accuracy. There's not much room for him to improve when he's already as great as he is. Quincy Carter, their situation. Miami, and where they are with Jay Fiedler. McNabb hits the 99 club. 4 overall, 90 in the awareness category. Throwing power and accuracy continue to improve. Michael Vick, one of the showstoppers here. He continues to improve and increase. 86 overall. Gets even faster. Now, not as fast as Madden 04. Madden 04 is the 2003 season. Madden 04, his ratings are even better than this. Right? But even in the video game, they're like, hey, he's getting faster. Because he's only like 89 speed, moved up to 90, and now it's moved up to 91 after 2 progressions. And we can see the way he's performed, his rating increased significantly. He threw the ball fewer times and completed more passes, so his 58% pass completion percentage. He improved his yards by 322 yards. 10 more touchdowns, 7 fewer interceptions, just all around a better season for the man. Rushing, more attempts, and for more yards, for a better average, an extra touchdown, fewer fumbles, just all around a good season for Mike Vick. We've got the situation with the Giants. Eli Manning doesn't exist in this universe. I don't have NCAA 02, doesn't exist on the Xbox. NCAA 3 is the first Xbox NCAA game, so no Eli Manning for them to draft. Jaguars, Mark Brunell getting older, 31, drops overall. Chad Pennington, 26 years old, goes up 5 more points, gets a little bit better. Look at that balanced throwing power and accuracy and awareness. So improving. Vinny Testaverde does not retire and continues to drop at age 38. The Lions situation. Green Bay. Brett Favre taking that L in progression. Unlike real life, where the man continues to be relevant up to 40 years old. Now, many people forget he played the year after that championship game loss, and it wasn't a very good season, but all the way up to that championship year with the Vikings, like, the man played at a high level. It's 2007, he brought the Packers to the championship game and lost to the Giants, who the Giants were going to beat New England. And then he had the retirement situation, and then went to the Jets, and was still really good, but had an injury. Almost took the Jets to the playoffs, but was playing, didn't lose his starting thing, but you could tell he was hurt. I think he had surgery after the season. Like, he definitely needed that. And then with the Vikings, took them to the championship game 2 years since his previous championship game, and almost made the Super Bowl before he finally fell off. And many people said he was having an MVP-like season with the Vikings. So in this game, we're just going to 2003, like 4 years before, and he's taken a huge hit. So that's a little bit of a disrespect. I put on Jim Druckenmiller. Jim Druckenmiller can't even have the R in his name because the game doesn't allow that many characters. Played for the Niners for some time. He's a Packer in this game. Panthers. Chris Winkie, rookie, the first season. He's improving at age 31. That's right. At age 31, he increases his ability. Favre at age 32 decreases his ability. I think that years played have as much to do with everything as their age does, because we see the same situation here. Garcia is the same age as Brett Favre, and he increases 2 points at age 32. Favre is age 32, and he decreases. So I think the game just looks at the fact that Favre has 12 years experience, and Garcia has 4 years experience, so let him increase. I don't know how the internal structure works, but it's what it feels like. We move on, and the same thing here. Age 30, and they're just hating on Drew Bledsoe. Despite the fact that he had good numbers in 2001 and decent numbers in 2002, they just let him plummet. He lost 3 or more points, I think, the previous year from like 86 to 83, and now he's from 83 to 80, and he's only age 30. He's 2 years younger than Garcia, but they say 10 years pro. I bet that's what's going on. They're like 10, 12 years pro, whatever. It's time to drop him. So overall, that's all I'm thinking is the years pro matter more. Like, they punish players for starting young. Rich Gannon takes a hit at age 36. Kurt Warner, age 31, gets better. Because 5 years experience, I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't know where the balance is there. Mark Bulger gets a little better. The Ravens situation. Washington situation. The Saints, Aaron Brooks improving. Seahawks, Hasselbeck up 4 points, up to an 81. Increases his awareness, increases that accuracy. Very good. Cordell / Stewart and the Steelers. Houston Texans and their situation. David Carr. Derek Carr's the younger brother. David Carr doesn't exist in this game. Their #1 draft pick, I believe, was here. The big star receiver. Right, 6'1", Pro Bowl rookie. So, no David Carr. Right? Titans Air McNair, rest in peace, age 29. Doesn't change it again. 8 years experience. I think that's why. I think that's the bigger issue. Trent Dilfer goes from the Seahawks to the Titans. He would later play for the 49ers. But here he's playing with the Titans. Dante Culpepper meets the 99 club. And they pick up Jake Delhomme as his backup. And that's quarterbacks in the NFL. We're not doing every single position, but we know quarterbacks is an important one that people like to follow. Rudy Johnson is not getting the respect because he would later take over for the Bengals for Corey Dillon, who would go to New England, and he would be a good back. Mike Anderson would become a fullback. They would draft Clinton Portis. Not in this game. Warwick Dunn would go to the Falcons, obviously. Pittman would go to the Buccaneers. Thomas Jones, he would go to the Bears, right? Because I think he's always here as the Cardinals. I mean, I know he was a Bear, but I don't think he started as a Bear and then went to Arizona. I think he goes to the Bears. I'm pretty sure Thomas Jones. Does he go to the Jets? I have this like weird feeling. It's Jets or Bears or both. I don't remember. I don't want to look it up right now. But Thomas Jones, I don't remember him as a Cardinal. But they would get Emmitt Smith, which is not the case here. LT is one of the big players we wanted to look at. Improves as a rookie in this game. You can see his yards and attempts really dropped off. He must have been hurt in the video game version. But still, gets 4-point increase. Predicted to be a good back, and he was. Okay. Priest Holmes has not become the legend that we know him to be. He would be a free agent acquisition from the Ravens, I believe. After the Ravens' 2000 season. That's right. Priest Holmes was a Raven. And then he got his legendary status as one of the best free agent pickups in Kansas City Chief history. But not so much in this game. But it is how it is. Edge, 99. The Cowboys running back situation with their retirement. Miami. Eagles. See, this is before Brian Westbrook. But they have Correll Buckhalter and Deuce Staley. Jamal Anderson's dropping off as expected. We already saw Kevin Barlow's situation. Tiki Barber comes into this game after a 9-fumble season in real life. So they give him low carry. See that carry of 67. So that's one of the things dragging Tiki Barber down is they kind of hit his awareness a bit. Like it's not in the 90s, right? But also that hate on the carry rating, keeping his overall down. And there's Ron Dane for the Giants. Fred Taylor, absolute legend, hits the 99 club and deservedly so. Curtis, my favorite. Martin gets hated on. 8 years experience, age 29. The man just kept staying relevant longer than Madden 2002 is letting him be relevant for. Excuse me. Lamont Jordan. It's in the Lions situation. Packers with Ahmad Green. Tim Bianca Batuka. At a certain point, they would get Stephen Davis, but I don't know which year that would officially be. The Patriots situation. Antoine Smith, Kevin Falk. Kevin Falk getting better and better. Charlie Garner and Tyrone Wheatley. Garner getting older, 9 years pro, taking a dip, hitting his ratings. Marshall. Steven Jackson doesn't exist in this universe. He's still playing for the Oregon State Beavers. He'll be involved in our NCAA 2003 and NCAA 2004 and all that. But right now, No such thing as that man. Jamal Lewis, coming back off his injury. That's why it says NA, because he had an entire season out his second year in the NFL. So there's Jamal Lewis. And so there's Stephen Davis in the Pro Bowl. I would later, as we said, go to the Panthers, and Washington would trade for Clinton Portis. They would give up Champ Bailey. That was a big blockbuster trade in real life. Ricky Williams with a holdout and staying with the Saints. That's kind of related here. Would go to Miami, but here he stays with the Saints, and they're probably going to figure out their contract. Sean Alexander, a future NFL MVP, increases to an 87 overall with that increased awareness, agility, catch, carry, break tackle, like all the things. An absolute monster player. And he's underrated as an 87 for sure. Jerome the Bus Bettis and Chris Fuamatu Mahafala. We have the Texans situation. Titans with Eddie George. Michael Bennett, only 94 speed. I say only 94 because I think in Madden 04 he's like 98 speed or something. Really fast player. Underrated in this game as well. And anything else? There's Mike Allstott remains relevant. Just the big positions is what we're looking at. Bengals have Chad Johnson. TJ Hushmanzada. Hujamama. If you've seen that commercial. In the video game, cut. Probably doesn't even stay in the roster. Doesn't get the respect he deserves. I thought about going in and adjusting the Madden 2002 roster. What do you think about adjusting the Madden 2002 roster? Not like maybe for a future franchise, whatever. Like, should I increase players based on what we know that they became, or should I leave it like a raw historical thing of like the way that the game saw these players? Like, should I increase Tom Brady? Should I increase Tillman? Should I increase TJ Hushmanzada? Things like that. But here, the Bengals, they got Peter Warrick at age 25 and Chad Johnson, so they're happy with those guys. We've got the Bills, Broncos, Ed McCaffrey, CMC's dad. Yeah, just kind of going through here a lot faster than other positions. Tim Dwight, underrated player in NFL history. Derek Alexander, Marvin, Reggie Wayne. There we go. That's the one. Reggie Wayne is a rookie in this game, and they still give him respect. Not as good as he really gets, but this man tears it up in the video game. Kind of flipping through here to see any other big-time names and increases. Brandon Stokely down the sideline. Wow! Right? Gus Johnson, that play. Didn't he go to the Colts at one point? And obviously the Broncos play that we know. Like, he'd jump around the league. We know our team. We can see the Giants. Alright, Jags. Santana Moss and Lavernius Coles. Cole's not getting the love he deserves. Wayne Corbett, a legend. Green Bay situation. I believe Donald Driver was on their team too, not getting the love he deserved. Steve Smith not getting the respect. That's his life story, not getting the respect he deserved. Kind of going through here. Andre Rison drops even more and stays in the league. He was cutting us up. We still won our games, but he was cutting our defense up. Ravens situation. Kind of flipping through here. Joe Horn, absolute legend, underrated too. Daryl Jackson gets the increase. Corin Robinson does as well. Hines Ward Young in this game, right? Started in 98. He was only 3 years pro entering this game. And now he's got 2 extra seasons under his belt. And when I say underrated, like, even the run block, he doesn't get the recognition. He's considered one of the best run blockers in NFL history. And he's not even one of the best run blockers on his own team. Right? Plexico Burress, just 1 year younger. Still not getting his recognition. Steelers have done a really good job over the decades, but especially the late 90s until now, drafting and developing wide receivers. Got to give them credit where credit is due. Just constantly finding good talent. Houston situation, we know. There's TJ Hushmanzada. Yeah, total disrespect. And he can't even fit his whole name in the game either. Dyson, Mason, solid receivers. Obviously the Vikings situation. There we go. Titans, we're not even going to go by team right now as we run through this. This is a franchise where we're never going to see Antonio Gates. But Freddie Jones was Charger for at least that 2001 season. I don't know what team he went to after that. I don't really remember. But Freddie Jones is considered one of the better tight ends in this game. And he kind of dropped off and into obscurity. Chad Lewis that cut us apart in the playoffs. And obviously Tony Gonzalez. Shannon Sharp drops off. Absolute legend there. Marcus Pollard. Frank Wycheck. We can see a lot of these good players. This is Desmond Clark, not Dallas Clark. Dallas Clark is still in college. Todd Heap. He would become a heck of a player. We can just kind of see several of these players as we go through. Algie Crumpler would be good for Atlanta. So let's take a look at some things here. Speed at the tight end position. We have the fastest tight end in the game. That doesn't mean the fastest acceleration. Tony Gonzalez and others have it, but even that there's a drop-off, right? But in just raw speed, we have the fastest tight end by a lot, by 7 points faster. Okay? Raw strength, nothing special, but it's interesting that, you know, the computer-created tight end is pretty strong. So is this one, Mo Cotton, an invented player. So they got some strong, invented rookies at the tight end position, as strong or stronger than other real players, as fast or faster. But the catch rating is, you know, lacking. Gonzalez is the only one above 90. He's the only one above 87. And that's with the increase for some players. Jumping, also in a league of his own. Dude was a complete legend. And let's go run blocking. And you notice here, a lot of created players, not created by me, but by Madden, are like the top run blockers. Like the first two are 2 points better. They're the top. And then Madison is another top run blocker. Another one. So out of these 6 run blockers, 4 of them are created for the video game. They aren't real run blockers. Then we get a few more real players. And then another invented player. Some real ones. Some more invented. No, he was a real one. Another invented one. But then we kind of see the drop off back into the average. But there you go. That's tight ends. I love offensive line. I love all that. But we're going to kind of skip over. They're not like this big sexy position. They are to me. But I know they're not to everyone else. Linebackers. The top linebackers in the NFL. We can see... Oh, yeah, that's one of the things that we can take a look at is you can actually see the 99 club from progression, right? So we can see here 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25, 6, 7, 8, 28, 29, 28, 29, 99s in this game because of the help of progression. The previous year, 4 points here, point there, 4 points here, like 4, 4, 5, 4. Like, they improve. And so, lots of 99s. And similar, the 98 club. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, 9? So more 99s than 98s. But this is inviting some other players to increase to 99 soon as well, right? So that's player progression across the league. Let's take a look at our offseason schedule, and we got to do free agent signing. Okay. Quarterbacks, no one. up for renegotiation. Paul Smith, we'll miss you. We might even re-sign you out of free agency, but he's not a fan favorite, like of my own, and like he won't be missed. Okay. No fullbacks needed, no wide receivers. It's Greg Clark here. That's the thing. Rest in peace, Greg Clark. 1.3 million. He wants 1.5 million. We've got Ray Madison. We've got Eric Johnson as a backup. Not something special, but I think I can also pick something up in free agency / the draft that I don't have to invest so much money in. I think we're going to have to say goodbye. You can't pay everyone. Jason Lehman, I mean, he's someone that we just picked up out of a dump-off free agency after last year's free agency. Like, some of these we just don't... That's the thing. De Fiore, good player. He wants 1.85 million. His current salary 1.65. Like, we're paying a fraction of that for a couple more seasons for a player who's stronger and has relatively equal pass block and run block, is a couple of years younger. Might be able to draft someone. Like, just can't pay everyone. Not gonna pay everyone. Let him go. Let him go. Let's keep Jeff Ulbrich. Can we get a deal going? Prepared to walk out of here if you won't pony up the money. 800? Alright. Increase his salary a little bit, but lock him up for a few years. Who knows if we're even going to keep him long term, I don't know. But Jeff Ulbrich is a fan favorite, like of my own. And I'm happy to have that be our middle linebacking core. We might find another middle linebacker. We might make some moves, but I don't feel the need to fill up middle linebacker right now. I feel really happy with our linebacker situation, especially our starters, Winborn and Peterson and all of that. Maybe a good backup rookie or whoever. Our corner situation. Zach Bronson. He doesn't want a lot of money. You want a 200K increase. What if we make it a 100K increase? Almost there. Make the contract longer. So you'll accept 4 years. So you'll accept less money for more time. Okay, cool. I'm fine with that. Locks him up into age 32 and 10 years pro. And even if we find a better safety and he can play backup, like, we're happy with that money. We're happy with that money. John Keefe. He wants that much. Let's do that. Just lock up a backup. Yeah. Can't have, I mean, you can have too many secondary members, but pretty happy with this situation here. Excuse me, I'm going to mute because my cough is coming bad. After a cough and a drink, we could have let Keith go. Could have. Depth chart usually allows for 3 safeties. So 2 and 3 is usually what I like to keep on a roster whenever possible. Can't always do that. But when it comes to the secondary, I generally like to keep 5 corners and 5 safeties on my team. Usually, like, you have a 53-man roster, right? And so people like to consider it as 25 and 25, offense and defense, with 3 special teams, a kicker, a punter, and some kind of return man or long snapper, whatever. Usually like a long snapper. But that usually gets classified under another center or tight end. But kick returner, whatever. So think of 3 special teams and 25-25. If you think about defense has 25, 5 corners and 5 safeties. It's like literally the back half of your defense. That's 10 out of the 25. That leaves you with 15 more slots. If you have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 out of those 15 slots, like 3 middle linebackers, 2 outside, and 2 of the other outside. So 4 outsides and 3 middle. You're looking at 7 there. So that leaves you with the other 8 players. 2 ends on one side, 2 ends on the other is 4, and then 4D tackles in the middle. Yeah, that's 25. So, yeah, 4D tackles, 4D ends, 4 outside linebackers, 3 middle linebackers, 5 corners, and 5 safeties is a round 25 number. That's a good number for your roster. It's like sometimes you can tweak with that number, but that's what you have. And that's what we've got. So, after going through the list, goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Bye, we'll miss you. Goodbye, we'll miss you. But we can't really keep everyone. And we are 16 mil. So we can afford a free agent. We can afford our draft class. We gotta be pretty happy with that, right? So we're at 46 minutes. I think this is a good time to split the video into 2 parts. Maybe even 3 parts potentially, like the draft, free agency, all that. But we've done progressions, retirements, and renegotiating contracts. That's a good place to cut it off. And I'll see you in part 2.